Hi everybody, I'm Curtis with the Lofty N Scaler. Today we are going to be talking about a modular system called Kam Konnect and look also at traditional bench work that you can build for your model railroad. Hi everybody, today's not going to be a long video. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the things that you can purchase that are fabricated for you. One is a modular system by a company called Kam Konnect. I've used these systems before. They're kind of pricey, but they're well made, and I'll show you what they look like, and I'll also show you the things that you can make yourself. So the reason I purchased the Kam Konnect to begin with was because I was going to be moving, and it's a modular system, and they all interlock with each other. So you can take them apart and put them back together and have everything lined back up just the way you had it when you took it apart. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the Kam Konnect is and what it looks like. So here I am outside of my home in southern Indiana, and when I moved, took down my other system, my other layout, I took it apart and really didn't have any place to store it, so I stored it in a trailer that's stored underneath my deck. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pieces of Kam Konnect that I have. Okay, so these are pieces of Kam Konnect, and as you can see, this was my old part of my old layout. This was a straight piece, and what happens is you've got this cam in the end like this, and then you have a part that receives it like that. And so when the ends butt up to each other, they'll connect, and then you get an Allen wrench, and then you just tighten down through the hole in the bottom, the cam, and then it pulls them together. And then these wood dowels here will make the sections line up every single time. So all you have to do is, line it up, tighten the cam down, and then join the pieces. So when you take the pieces apart, you have to make sure that all your electrical connections have plugs and what have you. So this was the original N-scale layout that I had done. This was all done with Pico code 55 track. I had some issues with it. It was really fine. It worked really well. It just was due to my inexperience of putting together a layout. So, but when you do something for the first time, you learn from it, and then you can go on and actually do a better job the next time, right? So I have these pieces, and I actually thought about considering using these pieces for that little alcove that I'm going to be doing up in the loft. But one issue with these is that while they're really handy and they work really well, number one, I don't have one that's the dimension that I need. So that dimension, which is 29.5 inches by 81.5 inches, something like that. I wrote it down. I can't remember from yesterday. It's just a weird dimension. And the straight pieces are only going to be 24 inches wide. The corner pieces, they're going to be 3 feet by 3 feet, and then have a 24-inch wide section. And so I have some empty straight pieces that I haven't used. Another issue with them would be weight. The actual weight of the Kam Konnect pieces are actually, they aren't heavy, but they aren't particularly light either. And so if I'm going to be lifting it up through that loft area, I want to be able to do it without too much frustration and ease. So that's why I'm not really thinking I'm going to use the Kam Konnect. I've got a bunch of this stuff though, and this stuff isn't cheap. You're talking corner modules, probably about $200, and I've got 4 corner modules. So that's $800 right there, plus 1, 2, 3, 6 straight pieces. So I've invested quite a bit of money in these Kam Konnects. And if I had the basement, I would use these probably. I'd put them back up. I'd take the old track off, rip out all the old wiring, and then just go from there. But since I don't have the basement to use, since it's being occupied by the 32-year-old stepdaughter, I'm going to have to improvise and do something else. What I thought I'd show you too is the leg system. So these legs will fold out, and they can stand up. So there's a little lock on it somewhere, and then it locks up into place just like that. And so each section can have up to 4 legs, and then they just fold back down, and then they lock into place. It's pretty well thought out, just a little bit expensive, and it's just not suiting my needs for right now. I wanted to show you the remnants of a traditional bench work, or something that's more traditional, that I originally had erected in my basement. So this was my original bench work that I had years ago, and it's more permanent. You can't fold the legs or anything like that. It's not as sturdy as some traditional bench work, but this is something that I would have used, but I'm not going to use this time around. This is just for reference. So for most model railroaders, Kam Konnect is an expensive solution to a problem that usually can be solved yourself. The reason I did it is because I didn't have a place where I could cut wood and assemble things, and I needed to be able to fold everything up and move it. And so my wife didn't want me trying to build something at a rental house and making a mess, and this was just an easy solution. At the time I had the cash, the money to do it, so I just went ahead and did it. The amount of pieces grew to more than what I originally had planned on, but I will use them again at some point. They are well built out of a hardwood, and I just don't. I'll use them again. So it's not like I'm throwing them away and not using them. It's just I'm not going to use them for this particular project. And even if I move to the basement, I can still erect these benches, and I can put whatever I make now on top of them to support them. So it's not like it's going to be wasted. But typically speaking, we as model railroaders, I don't know about you guys, but my wife has me on a budget, so I can't be spending a lot of money these days on things like that. I'm glad I invested in them, and I'm glad I have them, but I wouldn't be buying it again for this particular project at this time. So next time I'm with you, I promise I'm going to actually get to planning and showing you my idea for the general feel or the gist of the layout that I'm going to be putting down there. There's some things I've been thinking about, and I don't have a perfect solution for them yet. And maybe if you guys have any suggestions or solutions, you can forward them on to me. But thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time.